Hello, everyone. It's so good to see you. I haven't posted in a little while because I was moving, and I'm here now in northern New Mexico outside of Taos with Stevie. Stevie's here. And we're here in the Earthship. So if you guys are curious about what it looks like or how it works, just let me know in the comments, and I will be happy to sort of post about it a little bit. I was saying, ask and you shall receive, because I wanted to know what it was like to live off the grid. And since I've been here, I got here on Friday the 15th. So much has happened with the systems of this house, and I've learned so much about how it works. So if you're curious, certainly if you want to see more of it, it's incredibly beautiful. The view outside is like unbelievable. It's such a beautiful space. It's incredible to be. It really feels like living in the earth. And it doesn't really feel like being inside. It doesn't feel like being in a house. It feels much more like being outside than being in like a regular building. It's so beautiful. So that's what I've been doing. That's what my absence was about. I got a comment from someone who was interested in videos that are just light language or vocal codes, as I sort of resonate with them. All of the trance meditations that I sell on my website are just light language and music that I make specific for that trance healing. So they are all at least 30 minutes long. You can loop them, you can listen to them shorter, you can do sort of whatever you want with them, see how they grow and develop in you and sort of expand and change throughout time. The way that I do videos on YouTube, it sort of just comes the way that it comes. I don't really plan them. I get a sense of what's going to come through when I sit down. But the transmission in English feels very much a part of the healing as well. So in this video, I also say a lot that I'm going to try to talk less, and then it just keeps coming out. So I just wanted to let you guys know that that is available. Those kinds of healings are available. And sometimes I do them for YouTube that are just shorter because they take a lot of time to make. So I'm going to launch probably on Podia because I already pay for it, and that's where Solar Thread lives. Also, Solar Thread is, along with written healing and exploration and expansion and revelation and art, and sort of journal prompts and awakening sort of materials, are 6 45-minute trance meditations that are all vocal code and really, really beautiful, powerful, music, noise, sound healing that I made for that journey. Incredibly powerful work. Incredibly powerful. So that's available. The link for that's below. The link to all the trance meditations is below. And then whatever says trance meditation on the YouTubes is just light language and music. So I wanted to let everyone know that's available. Also, on the Podia platform, I am going to, while I'm here, make like a sort of membership for the trance meditations that makes it for people who, because I know there's a bunch of people who like buy them every week or every time I release them, to sort of just subscribe to them in a way that might be more cost effective, but more news on that soon. So for this video, I really, and we go back and do, themes at deeper levels, but this is really coming through as like the throat sacral connection, and then how that's kind of physically manifested in holding a lot of tension in your shoulders. If you notice, you hunch a lot, and then tightness in the hips. So a hip opening, throat opening, shoulder release. Nice, already coming through. Nice somatic release, a lot of trauma release from the field, from your system. So just taking nice deep breaths in and out of the heart, in and out of the soul, as we intend to know ourselves as we are in truth, and to let all else fade away from us. We do not want it. We let go all that is not in alignment with God's will. Our will is God's. Ini tansaminu yoncho konehi. Hianaya tauro hinamas. Shinikana hina totumahi. Hibayoyon o mahaya kayanatu. Shinasin sitai oyono araisi. Taking a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, releasing tension from the system. A lot of this is going to come from protection around this sacral space, the sacred space of yourself, around the space of creation, around the womb. Kiamayayun shur kinzanatis, releasing lots of memory of assault in all of the ways that can manifest, of abandonment, of betrayal, lots of grief for not fitting in, for the seeking of approval of others, making sense of ourselves in the context of other people's egos or of our own, knowing that is never where we truly connect. We never connect at the level of the body. We are indeed not our bodies. The body comes from a projection of the mind for what we believe it is for. This work is recoding what we believe all of this is for and correcting the stream of flow of our consciousness from believing that the world is coming from outside and affecting us to understanding that we are projecting this from our minds. This is all happening at the level of mind. So opening that up, reconnecting to those fields of being and allowing spirit in to do what spirit will do. Hini kanashun, understanding letting go. We must let go of our need to understand how spirit works, or that we must understand in order for spirit to work. We do not. Hikayanayonsu, shinikayansi, himahinantusun chikayasna, sitayotu yenitini kimoruin sotushus, sitas nutrui him saratu shunchi siki, hyonata. Yayo yokuyonata. Hina kunatina kuna yatuku yakiana payatu. This is really coming through as clearing. This came through very, very strongly in the member video. The member healing I did this morning. Like clearing traditions and myth and ways of being and spiritual rites throughout time space. This will be for you. Just because I'm interpreting it doesn't mean that that's the only thing that it means. The way that what many people call light language, which I don't believe it's a language, I don't think they're words in the way that we would conceive of that, is not tied to one specific area of being or one timeline or one species or one entity set. It's so much more than that. It's connected to so much more. So let it be more. Don't think you have to understand what it's connected to. Just let it be more. Understanding that this universe is electromagnetism. Magnetism is sound. Sound is always happening. It is not only what our ears can hear. It's particles bumping into each other, right? That's what makes sound along the chain as they bump, and then it reaches our ears, and then our, electrochemical conversion into brain, synapses, and how our mind makes sense of that. But that's happening at every level of being. At the subatomic particle level, all is sound and light. So understand that this is instruction, this is orchestration, this is information at levels that we are not trying to pin down. We don't need to understand it at that level. And I think at this stage in where we are in the evolution of beingness and truly allowing ourselves to emit and experience a different new way of being, you really have to let go of trying to understand it in old ways. And I know that it's fun. I know that sometimes we feel really called to certain beings or certain areas, but it's important not to cling to them or think that it's not working if you don't understand what it is, because you're never going to understand what it is with your ego. That is not what it's for, and we're really being called to let the ego go, let the past fall away, let it go, let it dissolve. Don't try to make sense of it, but as things come through you, we don't cling to them, but we allow them to come. If it is relevant for you, if it's helpful, then let it come, but understand that we don't cling to ourselves or our identities in any of the information that comes out in duality, because that's not the truth of our being. When we talk about the truth of our being, that means eternal formlessness, the eternal presence and beingness of God, which is love. And that is what you are. And to accept anything less is to separate yourself from what you are. And so you don't have to know what it means to express at that level physically, because that will come through you as it is meant to. The more we worry about how or what that means, or who we have to be connected to, or what aliens are talking to us, or what angels, or who they all are, and putting names to them and all of that stuff, that's projection of the ego. I'm sorry, I know that's going to upset people, but that's projection of your ego, trying to make sense of it in that way. If it comes through naturally without you clinging to it in that way, let it. Because I do believe that as we unravel time, as we roll back time, as we move backwards through time in this healing, because it is the great undoing, that information will be revealed to us. But the revelation is not to reveal all of the ways that we have been deceived. The revelation is the truth of your being. Revelation is peace. So seek peace, seek truth, seek love, and let all come through as it comes through, but don't cling to it and let it go. If you want it, you will have it. It will be there for you to see, but when you really don't want it anymore, it's going to fall away from you. And what is meant to be in alignment with you in form, in expression, in whatever way that means in the field, because of course there's so much more than just what our body's eyes see. If it's coming to you in love, trust that then. But it's really important to understand that distinction, because you don't want to make more time, and you don't want to further adjust yourself or accept definitions of yourself that are less than what you truly are. Because the full expression of what Spirit's asking of you, which is coded in your beingness, it's not just in your body. The limits of yourself are not your skin. It's a morphogenetic field. The entire universe is genetic. And genetic is wave expression, as I see it. Patterned code, wave code. What's truly meant to come through in the physical by way of what we have no understanding of with our body will not come through you if you're clinging to what you think it needs to be in an old dualistic way of thinking. So we're moving maybe not completely out of duality, but we're moving out of a distorted duality in which the opposite is death. There are different kinds of life, and there need to be different kinds of life in order to have form, but it doesn't have to be death. It doesn't have to be your total annihilation. It doesn't have to be evil. That's an idea that you made up. We made that up. That's not real. There's nothing outside of ourselves that's making us believe that. Nothing. That's us. That's the choice. This is what understanding your free will choice is. There's not a set rule, there's not a set path, there's not a set ladder. It doesn't have to be that way. It's only that way if you make it that way. You gotta release the limits on yourself. Hinima turut. And this is sacral, because this is what we're messing around with in duality, is limiting our true creation. You will not ascend your sacral center if you're playing around in those old ways of being. We're truly being called to open, 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 open. We don't know what it looks like. That's okay. Spirit knows. Yourself knows. The self that knows knows. Hinikanayun shonanisni. This will bring up the fear of death. This will bring up the wish for death. We don't think we have one. Nobody thinks they want to die, but we wouldn't die unless we wanted it. This is what we must forgive ourselves for. This is the crux. And the work I might sound like a broken record, but the work is always going to come down to this, because this is the choice for the ego. Hinikanayan chokoru hinamdis. Everything else is a different set of clothes. Hianatandoku hamdis no tundataya. Shinatruet. And when you are in alignment with Spirit, you allow all through. You see that the center of everything is the truth of what you are as well. What people would describe as demons. That's an expression in duality. What is the truth of that beingness? It's the same truth that is the truth of your own beingness. People who do what we would perceive to be horrible things, what is the truth of their beingness? It's the same truth as the truth of my beingness. So I would not project with the power of my mind, knowing how powerful my mind is, I would not project to see them condemned. I would release them from it so it's easier for them to see themselves. Forgive the world. Forgive yourself for the world that you projected out by keeping other people and yourself in cages of sin. This is the only way that we will truly be free of that way of life, and it will continue to go on in whatever way that it does until we do that. And we have to recognize that this is, in the physical, that's a consensus. So you got to be really clear about what you actually want. And this is all coming in relation to the sacral and the throat center. This is all coming through that connection, that expression. Because the time is now for you really to choose joy. Choose the manifestation of joy in whatever that means in that moment for you. Kinayin yoptor kinasni shinitasi. Hiri horotis natrani koyomni tisi kien shari toro kinasa. Shatu yanikanim dayas notia. Hini anayonoyum dor kinayun sohit. Hinana tanakianamnaya tokoraya sinjiritis natri. Hianokonimna ruin sonjiritis natrakas. Shikihayanurui tum natanikan. Shaptiko yasni sonsokiana shinin yuptokorokinat. Hatu kuim shum satis natanish. What I was starting to say before I went off. Before spirit went off. This is coming through as what's meant to be shared. I do not really let my ego interfere with this. Is this sort of Greco-Roman tradition. Now this spans thousands of years of history in our record, and this is still being held. So this is all of that myth, all of that connection, and all of that fear of working with deities because they're, and planets, and which they thought were the same. But, the way that some people, I don't really, I try to learn about it, but it's not what I'm guided to do. Work with astrology. There's a fear, and anytime you place power outside of yourself, that's a fear. And that's deeply ingrained in the way that the ancients interacted with these beings, subjugating themselves to them, because they were afraid, and they thought that's how it worked, because they were also mistaken about what God is. And that's why it's important to know yourself as you are working in these expanded realms, because you can still be in illusion and be in realms that aren't here. Because it's all in duality in this universe. Whatever you think of as higher dimensions doesn't mean they're not in duality, and so that's open for distortion, because that's what distortion is. We got to get clear about these things, because as I said this in the member video, but as the tower falls, as the apocalypse keeps crumbling itself apart, right? The spiritual communities are very stratified. There is lots of people molding themselves into outdated methods or things they learned from somebody else that aren't really what's meant to be coming from them for the sake of other people understanding what they're talking about. You got to stop worrying about that. If code starts to come through you, you don't have to understand it by the way of what other people are talking about it. You don't have to use what I say. What does it mean for you? That's all that matters. That's all. You give everything the meaning it has for you. Every single thing is in existence and in relationship to you because of the meaning that you gave it. And that is the most important part about working with the power of your mind to understand. There is no conception of anything outside of yourself except what you made. That is your power. Don't weaken yourself. Don't subjugate yourself in levels of hierarchy with the field. That is not how Christ sees. Hina kayan shakuna kina tratus, and you are that. That is one body. Maya sumsukush, one collective consciousness, one. Kinamdar kahin, it sees no difference between itself. Hinindakunundruhami snuntish, because to do that is to separate in this realm. And separation is pain. It's illusion, it's masking, it's a refusal to be what you are. And there is deep fear around. There might be a kernel in you that really believes that, but is afraid to leave other communities or to stop listening to certain things that you resonate with because you feel like you won't make sense anymore, or you won't fit in anywhere, or you'll be alone, or you'll be misunderstood, or you'll be hunted, or you'll be, whatever the results of that hunting is. That you'll be targeted, that you'll be subjugated, that you'll be canceled, that you'll be shadow banned, all of these different things. That your body will be violated. That's a deep, 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 deep. For speaking truth. You have to confront it with the light of the truth to show yourself that that's not real. And while you believe the physical world is real, you will not be free of it. This is really important. This is really what Spirit wants to bring through. Because we can talk about chakras, and we can talk about realms, and we can talk about beings, and we can talk about entities, but none of that really matters if you cannot embody the belief that only the true is true, only the real is real, the only reality is God. And you don't have to call it that name. But the only reality is the eternal formless beingness. Everything else is dress up. Everything else is separation. It's alteration. And so you would never have to subscribe to any certain beliefs to be free. You never have to go through some certain, this came through in the member video too, you would never have to go through some certain modality or rite in order to be worthy or capable of knowing yourself as you are, because everyone is equally given that capability. Every single person on earth, everyone. To believe anything else is to limit God, is to limit the power of the divine. How could you believe that the divine could do anything if it can't get through to you wherever you are? You have to choose to listen. You have to choose to believe yourself worthy of receiving that at all moments, no matter what you've done, no matter what you currently believe about yourself. And in one moment, if you are open to that belief, and you are in that belief, and you are, and then the next moment you forget, it doesn't mar anything, nor does it make you incapable in the next moment of choosing again. Ask yourself why you wouldn't want to believe that. Who told you otherwise, and who were they? You don't need credentials. You need to listen to yourself. Kiana kani kanayan tona, shinikian sikianit, hyamnyan sunchinin drihayos notuyat. This is coming through in this representation is this solar connecting, very powerful immersion, emission, expansion of this solar beingness. Reconnecting all energy centers to the solar beingness. Because I have seen this for many years as I've been doing this work, that the chakra system is rolling up. It's not meant to be separate in the way that we think of it. And as it ascends, it merges. So don't project separation where you don't need to, just for the sake of understanding or being understood. Because again, everything is changing. Hinitana konimiantis no yunchoyo son, hiana koru, sato somshiti, si oyomnar, kinion sondorit, soyishinindritas nosi, karuindos, soyishonoyun si, hianium tokin, hyoptorkin doyanishum, sin chonim naesion so, Shuyitisi hianatu ruhit, hyum natranit kayas, shanatrato kuinsum, kyum dorkian satisiot, waision itiot orkihana nuyum shiti, satuso saya saya, shiyasansakinayan saki, sioptokoyan joptatis, nindrikanian dikinit, yayotushum soko harkin doyotosonat. Hinatono timchiritis niat. Kayaturu haya sumshi. Sinaya nuyum sotashi. And the more that you express authentically, whatever that means, a really overused word probably, in alignment with what is truthfully resonating from you, and that doesn't have to be talking spiritual, and any place you find yourself in conversation with yourself. That is the walking the way. And delusions dissolve as you do this. It's a constant practice. Your mind doesn't take breaks, it doesn't turn off. You're constantly choosing. You can let it run from unconscious patterns, or you can bring those unconscious patterns into the light by choosing differently. Okay, I think we're going to end it here. This was very powerful work. I want to thank everyone for joining me. As always, if you feel like you need to stay in, drop in further into your own meditation, these can be really powerful ways to enter into your own meditation practice and see what comes through you. If you want to get a journal out and just like let whatever comes come, really give yourself the space to create, knowing that it is not output. Like the way your creation is received by other people's bodies is not a reflection of its worthiness. Is it the joy that you made creating it? Or the road to expressing your joy? What you had to get out of the way in order to be fully expressing in your joy? Give that validation through yourself, that it's not needing to come from other people's bodies. This is important for your peace. So we're going to end it there. I love you all very much. I missed making videos, so I'm happy to be back. And all the links below to work together, live sessions while I'm in this place, going to be really, really beautiful. I did a session on Monday. It was absolutely gorgeous. So if you're feeling called to work together, all those links are below. And stay tuned. If you want to sign up for my newsletter, you'll be notified of when the trance meditations come out, and you'll be notified of all the other work that I do, and when that membership, when I finally get myself together to put that membership up and figure out what else is going to be a part of it. Probably some sort of like maybe monthly live group thing too, and a space for everybody to talk to each other, maybe to share. And I was also, I don't know how much people use Discord. I know that it has been popular, but I thought it might be cool just as a space like that is not completely dependent on me running every single part of it, but is a place for people to like talk about what they're reading and what is sort of being revealed to them through what they're reading, or music or art. I think art is the closest we have to expressing truly inter and multidimensionally without limits, without so many limitations, if you're really in alignment with what art, I guess, is for. And it's not, entertainment or consumption. So that might be coming down the pipe as well. But I'm going to end the video now. And also let me know if you want to see more of the Earthship, and I'll talk to you guys soon.